Hello, hello, hello. My name is Donna Pugh, and I have the privilege of having one of my best friends and just a miracle maker, Miss Janet Paleo here. Hello, Janet.
Hi, Donna.
I am so happy that you're here, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
You're
So,
welcome.
so Janet and her partner Anna Gray own a nonprofit called Prosumers International. They do miraculous work. I'm gonna let
Actually,
her.
we run a nonprofit. We don't own it.
Oh, okay. I have it that y'all own it. Okay, they run a nonprofit, and can you just say a little bit about that? What it's about?
Yeah, so prosumers is based on the idea that many people find challenges that stop them in life. And usually they're given a diagnosis, whether it be a mental health diagnosis, a substance use diagnosis, or sometimes other things. They get involved with the justice system. But at that point, they seem to lose the idea that they can still have a full life because this has happened to them. And so our nonprofit is really kind of an empowerment. We call ourselves an empowerment nonprofit, and we're a social change justice program, which our social change is we help people realize that whatever has happened to you doesn't define you and doesn't have to stop you from having a full life.
Amen. Well, I've had the privilege. I mean, so Janet and Anna are two of my best friends for over 20 years, and
Yes.
but I've had the privilege to actually assist in some of their rooms. They have a small course that's like 3 or 4 days, right? Called Focus for Life, and I'm in the back of the room supporting them, and I have just witnessed every time I was in it, every time that I've done it. I love it. I witness miraculous work being done, and I see people going in one way and coming out another in a short period of time. I
Very
talk.
short period of time.
They're small groups and it's intimate, and they're powerful. And Janet and Anna are great with everyone and from every walk of life. They have a very distinct way of teaching, and they're gentle and precise. And I can't stress enough. I always recommend people to take it on, or that I think would have somebody that would be good for. So I recommend it to them too. Y'all should look it up. I'm gonna let her tell at the end how you can find them. But I
Well,
want to
and
tell.
I will tell you one thing about Focus for Life. One of the teaching methods that we use is that we use uh, items that people can agree on, and then we bring it back to yourself, so that you can see the contrast of how you treat yourself and how the very same idea you're not doing, you wouldn't do it with this, but you would do it to yourself.
Yeah, yeah, powerful. Okay. Well, I just want to turn it over to you and for you to share what you want to share. I know whatever you share always makes a difference. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn it over to you, Janet.
Okay, so when you asked me to do this, Donna, I was thinking about what would be a good thing to talk about. And I'm actually in the process of writing my book, which people have told me for years, but I didn't want to just tell my story. I wanted to do more than that. And I figured out the format that I want to use. And so I'm only on the second chapter, but I want to share the second chapter with you and or my rendition of it now. I'm not
Do you
going to
happen to have a
read.
name yet?
It does not have a name yet. It has
Okay,
not
it's
named
only
itself.
second chapter. It'll come organically. Okay.
But this chapter is about belief and where does belief begin? And when I was thinking about this and wanting to write about it, I thought about, when we're in a womb, in our mom's tummy, we're happy, we're content, we're getting everything we need. And then at some point, it starts becoming uncomfortable. And we have the instinct to start pushing to get out. And we do that and we follow that and we become get out there into this cold world. and usually start crying. If we don't start crying, somebody pats us on the bottom to make sure we're crying so that we're breathing good. And then usually we get put on our mom and wrapped in warm blankets, and after all that ordeal, we go back to sleep. But when I was thinking about that, we trusted our instinct. We didn't have to look up a book. We didn't have to ask anybody's opinion of what do I need to do? No, we knew we needed more room, and we did what our instinct was telling us to do. But somehow, once we get born, other things start affecting how we think about that. So I recall when I was about 4 years old, my next door neighbor was raking her leaves. And so I went over to help her. And I helped her bag the leaves and I did all that. And then my mom called me because I had to come in for my bath. And so I started to leave and I told her goodbye. And she goes, "No, wait a minute." And then she reached in and she gave me a quarter. And I was like, what's this for? She goes, "Yo, you earned it. Go ahead." I said, "Okay, so thank you." And then ran home to tell my mom. And of course, I went to tell my mom how excited I was that I had earned a quarter. And my mom says, "No, that's a lot of money. You take it back and tell her that you don't want the quarter, that you can't accept it." So I went back to tell her, and she says, "No, no, Janet, really, you deserve it. I want to pay it for you. You did a lot of work." So I ran back to tell my mom, and my mom says, "Go give back the quarter,
Oh
or
Lord.
you're going to get a spanking." So now I'm crying. I ran back to the lady and I said, "I can't keep the quarter, I'll get spanking." So she reached down, she hugged me, and I went back home. And at that moment, I started realizing and doubting myself about my worth. I started doubting whether, I was worthy of a quarter, and I realized as I was writing the chapter, I never celebrated that instinct to go help somebody.
Hmm.
And, if I focus on that instinct, no matter what the circumstances were, the instinct was good. But the feedback I got was that I was bad because I had taken the quarter. But when we start doubting ourselves, all of a sudden we start getting these things called anxiety attacks because it's not just one incident, right? It's all along the way. Every time you make a mistake, then you start doubting yourself more. And the more that you doubt yourself, the more anxiety you start building up because what if I'm not doing it right? What if um, something else is going to happen? We stop trusting our instinct. And that can lead us to lead very small lives because we start hiding under that bushel of if I do nothing, then maybe I won't get in trouble. But you can't live your life that way. So anything
Or
we
make
do
a
try,
mistake. Or
or
make a
make a
mistake.
mistake. Exactly. Because, what would happen? And so we start becoming anxious. And I will tell you, anxiety, almost everyone I talk to, we run a warm line and we do peer support with all kinds of people. And I will tell you how many people call and talk about their anxiety. The number of kids in school that get stomach aches. Stomach aches are nothing more than anxiety most of the time. Sometimes they do eat something wrong, but most of the time it's anxiety. They're not sure, they doubt themselves whether they're smart enough to pass a test. They doubt themselves whether they can um, um, put up with people, the other people in the classroom. Maybe they're being bullied and whether they can stand up to that. So they get anxious and they start doubting themselves. And then, they wind up in the nurse's office and mom has to come get them. But we continue doing that as adults as well. And it can lead to a very small life. And when we can stop and look, where did that come from? It really came from a lot of places. The ability to doubt yourself starts very young and it's multiplied by many, many people
And situations.
and situations. Absolutely. Because sometimes we go with our instinct and It doesn't turn out the way we think it is. So then we beat ourselves up, saying, I should have never done that. We don't celebrate that we just learned a great lesson. We don't celebrate, if we don't try something, we'll never know what we're capable of.
Mm.
And when we can step up and do things outside our comfort zone, things that we're maybe afraid to do or anxious to do, but we have the instinct that we want to do, like help someone or whatever it is, then we can start expanding our life and having our life be full of life and living. Then you start living a bigger life until you get to the point where you're really living a big life. But the more that you do that and step outside of that comfort zone, the more you start trusting your instincts. And thank people for sharing. Thank your brain for sharing. Your amygdala tries to keep you safe too. Your amygdala, so amygdala is a small little almond-shaped part in your brain, and you've heard of it. It's called the flight, fight, or freeze. And its whole life is just to keep you safe. And keeping you safe does not equal a full life because it doesn't care if you're miserable. It only cares if you're breathing. So when you want to do something that you wonder if it's risky or whatever, your amygdala, don't do that. Don't do that because I don't know how it's going to go. You're safe right now. You're miserable, but that's okay. You're breathing. You might not breathe if you do this. So you have this thing inside your brain that's even telling you not to do it, right? But when you can do it and then show your amygdala that, you know what, we can take risks, we can do things. And after a while, it'll settle down and say, okay, you didn't die that time. So maybe we could do that one again. But, it really is um, it's sometimes you have to really be intentional about living so
Mm.
that you look at where did that belief that I am not enough, that belief that am I going to do it right, that belief that I'm not worthy of whatever it is, that's not the way we came out. When we came out, we trusted ourselves and then we stopped.
And something happened and we made up some.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then we started living smaller lives. And every time something happened, we cut off a part of that until many people live in a very, very small life that um, they can barely see out of and can't move in anymore. If you were still in your mom's womb, you'd be going, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. But we don't trust ourselves to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm present to, which I have been. So this is like touching a little nerve with me personally, because this is some thoughts, right? The last couple of days of striving, thriving, I even thriving versus surviving, just surviving life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people are surviving life. They've actually, I call it the default life. If you can live your life, or you can live the life the amygdala tells you to live, which is the default life, which is very, very small. It doesn't allow any risk. It doesn't allow you to do anything outside of that comfort zone. And you can't grow if you're not outside that comfort zone. Eleanor Roosevelt said, do something every day that scares you. And she wasn't talking about bungee jumping. She was talking about standing up for yourself, um, greeting somebody that you wouldn't normally greet. It's about doing things um, that you are terrified of doing.
Well, like you
Asking
said,
for respect. Sorry, go ahead.
like you said, living intentionally.
Yes.
Yes. Not just looking past a homeless person. Oh shoot! I'm sorry about that. Thought that was
It's
off.
okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I can't wait till your book comes out.
Yeah, me too. Um I'm hoping my goal and my intention for the book is that every chapter, even though it will have my story running through it, it will it's not just a straight story about my story. It's lessons I've learned, and then basing the stories on those principles, and then questioning the person at the end, that chapter, to look at this for themselves. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a self-help book, but not really self-help. But my intention is hoping that somebody can pick it up, and when they're feeling disempowered, and reading a chapter or two, and then seeing themselves differently, or being willing to take a risk on something.
Yeah. Well, I know your story. I know a lot of your story, and it's powerful from where you've came and who you are now. Oh my gosh, we don't have enough time, okay, people. But I'm not past asking her to come back because she has a lot of empowerment and wisdom, and I mean it's beyond all that. Even the difference that they make. So I'm not past asking you to come back again. Maybe
I would love to come back anytime, Donna.
okay. See, I get it on the recording. All right. Well, Janet, will you? Thank you for being here. Will you share how they can look you up and look at the offerings y'all have?
Sure. Our name of the organization that we run is Prosumers International. The website is www.prosumers, prosumers.org. And on there, you can find our newsletter. We have a radio station that's 24/7. It's also available on Alexa. And all the songs have been chosen because they have positive I statements. It's a way of training your brain to listen for because you're forced by singing the songs to say positive things. I can survive.
I am woman.
I am woman. You know, so it all the songs have been chosen because they have these positive I statements in it. So it actually helps you start training your amygdala that taking risks is okay. So you start training it to listen and to look for the positive stuff in it. We have a warm line that runs 4 days a week, and you can get access to that. And that's for if you're feeling down, just need somebody to talk to, just to get some support. So we operate that, and then we hold classes and all kinds of other things, and then we do training. And anybody with a mental health diagnosis or a uh, who wants to look at getting a job as being a peer support specialist, we are a training entity and do the official training for the state of Texas. So
I got a lot going on, people. Well, this thing keeps going off. I'm so sorry.
it's
Um,
okay.
Well, I would love to hear y'all's feedback and what you got from this. And if there's anything, like I would definitely go look them up and check out the website and go from there. And if I can do anything, I would be happy to do. I'm not going to have anybody on, or I'm not going to be with people that, of course, I don't, that I trust. It's beyond trust. I just love being in their presence. So thank you. I get teary eyed when I even talk about her. All right, Janet. Well, you go have a great day, and I appreciate your time. And let me hear from you guys. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Donna. I really appreciate it. And I love you. Bye
Bye.
bye.